Welcome back to another video by 12th SYLLABUS. In this video, we will be discussing about the subject English poem 2.3 The Inchcape Rock by Robert Southey. It is on page number 104 of your English textbook. Before we begin with the poem The Inchcape Rock, let me give you a brief introduction about Robert Southey. Robert Southey was born in England and he is a poet laureate of England from 1813 to 1843. Some of his short poem includes The Scholar, The Inchcape Rock, which is very popular. This poem, that is The Inchcape Rock, is a ballad and it is a story of a 14th century where the abbot of Aberbrothock has installed a warning bell on the Inchcape Rock, and later it is also the story of a pirate who came and who cut the Inchcape bell from the Inchcape Rock. This story also gives us a supernatural element, and also this poem has a poetic justice. That is, if we do wrong things to others, then we have to face the punishment. So now let us begin with the poem The Inchcape Rock, page number 104. The poem Inchcape Rock has in total 17 stanzas of 4 lines each. The poem also has two important qualities being mentioned, that is about the virtue and the evils. So first I will read out the poem The Inchcape Rock. The Inchcape Rock by Robert Southey. No stir in the air, no stir in the sea. The ship was as still as she could be. Her sails from heaven received no motion. Her keel was steady in the ocean. Without either sign or sound of their shock, the waves flowed over the Inchcape Rock. So little they rose, so little they fell. They did not move the Inchcape bell. The abbot of Aberbrothock has placed that bell on the Inchcape Rock. On a buoy in the storm it floated and swung, and over the waves its warning rung. When the rock was hit by the surger's swell, the mariners heard the warning bell, and then they knew the perilous rock and blessed the abbot of Aberbrothock. The sun in heaven was shining gay. All things were joyful on that day. The seabirds screamed as they wheeled round, and there were joyness in their sound. The buoy of the Inchcape bell was seen, a darker speck on the ocean green. Sir Ralph the rover walked his deck, and he fixed his eye on the darker speck. He felt the cheering power of spring. It made him whistle, it made him sing. His heart was mirthful to excess, but the rover's mirth was wickedless. His eye was on the Inchcape float. Out me, my men, put on the boat, and row me to the Inchcape Rock, and I played the abbot of Aberbrothock. The boat is lowered, the boatmen row, and to the Inchcape Rock they go. Sir Ralph bent over from the boat, and he cut the bell from the Inchcape float. Down sung the bell with a gurgling sound. The bubble rose and burst around. Out Sir Ralph, the next who come to the rock, won't bless the abbot of Aberbrothock. Sir Ralph the rover sailed away. He scoured the sea for many a day, and now grown rich with plunder store, he stirs his coast for Scotland's shore. So thick a haze o'erspread the sky, They cannot see the sun on high. The wind had blown a gale all day. At evening it had died away. On the deck the rover takes his stand. So dark it is they see no land. Out, Sir Ralph, it will be lighter soon, for there is dawn of the rising moon. Can't hear, said one, the breakers roar, for me think we should be near the shore. Now where we are I cannot tell, but I wish I could hear the Inchcape bell. They hear no sound, the swell is strong. Though the wind had fallen, they drift along, till the vessel strikes with a shivering shock. Oh Christ, it's the Inchcape rock! Sir Ralph the rover tore his head. He cursed himself in his despair. The waves rush in every side. The ship is sinking beneath the tide. But even in his dying fear, one dreadful sound could the rover hear, a sound as if it was with the Inchcape bell. The devil below was ringing his knell. So now we'll see the stanza-wise explanation of the poem Inchcape Rock. The first stanza, no stir in the air, no stir in the sea. Meaning there was no air, there was no wind in that sea on that particular day. The ship was as still as she could be. So the ship, all the ships that were there in the water, it was still, it was not moving because there were no movement of water also. Her sails from heaven received no motion. Her keel was steady in the ocean. So as there were no air and as there were no wind on that seashore on that particular day, so everything was very calm and quiet and composed. Without either sign or sound of their shock, the waves flowed over the Inchcape rock. So little they rose, so little they fell. They did not move the Inchcape bell. So an Inchcape bell was placed on the Inchcape rock. So this was the indication that there was a very dangerous rock that is been there. So if a ship could have come over there, and if that ship could have dashed the rock, then the ship could have been sunk into the water. But that bell is an indication, that bell is an warning to make the people, to make the mariners aware that there is a rock and we should be safe from that rock. The abbot of Aberbrothock has placed that bell on the Inchcape rock. So this is the first character of the poem, is the abbot of Aberbrothock. So the abbot of Aberbrothock, he had fit that Inchcape bell on the rock that is called as the Inchcape rock. On a buoy in a storm it fluttered and floated and swung, and over the waves its warning rung. So as you see in the picture, a wooden buoy was being kept floating in the water, due to which the bell was a warning for all the mariners who are coming about that dangerous rock. Now turn to page number 105. When the rock was hit by the surger's swell, the mariners heard the warning bell. So if the mariners are coming and are going on that way, then they would hear the warning bell of the Inchcape rock. So this proves to them the indication that there is a dangerous rock, so we should take a next turn and go. And they knew the perilous rock and blessed the abbot of Aberbrothock. So as their life could be saved by that warning bell, by that Inchcape bell which was placed on the Inchcape rock, so then they used to bless, they used to thank the abbot of Aberbrothock for this good deed, for placing the Inchcape bell on the Inchcape rock. The sun in heaven was shining gay. So on that day the sun was shining very brightly. All things were joyful on that day. So on that day, as the sun was very bright, as the sun was shining, so all the atmosphere, it was joy in the atmosphere. The sea birds screamed as they wheeled around, and they were joyous in their sound. So even the birds were roaming here and there, even the birds were chirping, and there were joyness everywhere. The atmosphere of this particular incident or this event was very joyful and was very cheerful and happy. The buoy of the Inchcape bell was seen, a darker speck on the ocean green. So now here in this poem, it enters the second character, that is Sir Ralph the Rover. So Sir Ralph the Rover was very cruel and was very evil. So he had some evil plan or evil idea and thought in his mind. Sir Ralph the Rover walked his dead, and he fixed his eye on the darker speck. So then Sir Ralph the Rover, he saw about the Inchcape bell, and he had an evil and a bad thinking and a bad idea in his mind. He felt the cheerful power of spring. It made him whistle, it made him sing. So as he saw the Inchcape bell that was placed on the Inchcape rock, and everyone over there was praising, was thanking the abbot of Aberbrothock. So this evil mind came in his head. So after thinking about this evil incidents, to do something to that Inchcape bell, he started singing, he started whistling also. His heart was mirthful to excess, but the rover's mirth was wickedness. So the thinking, the thought, the idea that Sir Ralph was having in his head was very bad, was very evil. His eye was on the Inchcape float. Out he, my men, put out the boat and row me to the Inchcape rock, and I'll plague the abbot of Aberbrothock. So Sir Ralph the Rover is telling the boatmen to take a small boat from the ship and to row him to the Inchcape rock, so that he can cut the Inchcape bell, as he was very wickedless, as he had an evil plan in his head. So he wanted that no one should bless and thank the abbot of Aberbrothock for the good deed that he has done. The boat is lowered, the boatmen row, and to the Inchcape rock they go. So according to the instructions and according to the order, the boatmen of Sir Ralph the Rover, they took the boat and they started heading towards the Inchcape rock. Sir Ralph bent over from the boat. So Sir Ralph the Rover, he just bent forward and he cut the Inchcape bell, and he cut the bell from the Inchcape float. Down sunk the bell with a gurgling sound. So as Sir Ralph the Rover had cut the bell went inside the water with a gut sound, that is the gurgling sound it is called. The bubbles rose and burst around. So when we drop a heavy object in the water, we see that bubbles come up and then they go down. So similarly over here, the bubbles of water was coming up and it went down. It got bursted. Out Sir Ralph, the next who comes to the rock won't bless the abbot of Aberbrothock. So Sir Ralph the Rover says that the next who will come to visit here will not bless the abbot of Aberbrothock, will not thank the abbot of Aberbrothock, as now the Inchcape bell is not there because he had cut it. Then turn to page number 106. Sir Ralph the Rover sailed away. So for some days, for some months, Sir Ralph the Rover was staying over there. He scoured the sea for many a days, and now grown rich with plunder's store, he stirs his course for Scotland's shore. So as Sir Ralph the Rover was there, and as Sir Ralph the Rover was a pirate means daku. So as Sir Ralph the Rover was a pirate, he looted many of the ships, he robbed jewelries, he got many money, he got money also, he got jewelries also, and some important treasuries also they got. So now when he has grown rich, then he decided to go back home. So thick a haze spread the sky, they cannot see the sun on high. So now when they want to go to their home, the atmosphere was suddenly very dark and they cannot see sun also. The wind had blown on a gale all day. At evening, it had died away. So there was also wind in the atmosphere, in the air. On the deck, the rover take his stand. So dark, it may see no land. So Sir Ralph the rover was standing on the deck, and he is saying that it is so dark and it is so very dark outside that they cannot see the land also. "Oath, Sir Ralph, it may be lighter soon, for there is dawn of rising moon." So Sir Ralph the rover is telling to their boatmen that don't worry, it will become lighter, as now it will be the time that the sun will come up. It will be the dawn time, that is the early morning time. "Canst hear," said one, "the breakers roar, for methink we should be near the shore." So one of the boatmen said that I cannot hear anything and I do not know where we are. But he thinks that methink means he says that I think that we should be near the shore of the ocean or of the sea. Now where we are I cannot tell, but I wish I could hear the Inchcape bell. So one of the men is telling that I do not know where we are, as it is very dark, as wind is blowing. So the boatman got very scared, and he is saying that I think if the Inchcape bell would have been there, then we could have told ki where we are. But as now the Inchcape bell is not there, I am getting afraid, as we do not know that where we are in that sea. They hear no sound, the swell is strong, though the wind had fallen, they drift along, till the vessel strikes with a shivering shock. Oh Christ, it's the Inchcape rock. So then they thought the vessels, that their vessel means the ship. So the ship has already, the ship has already taken a turn and it has already hit the Inchcape rock. So as the ship or as the vessel has hit the Inchcape rock, then they realized, oh, this rock is the Inchcape rock, which is very dangerous So now the ship will eventually sink in the water, will go down in the water. Sir Ralph the rover tore his head. So Sir Ralph the rover was very angry, was very frightened, and he was just catching his head in anger and in fear. He cursed himself in his despair. So Sir Ralph the rover, he started saying bad about himself only. So curse means to say bad to himself. So in this poem, Sir Ralph the rover is cursing himself that why he had cut the bell from the Inchcape rock. The waves rushed in every side. The ship is sinking beneath the tide. So as the ship got hit to the Inchcape rock, so all the waters and all the winds, so the water started entering into the ship in all the side, and the ship is now sinking in the water. But even in his dying fear, one dreadful sound could the rover hear, a sound as if with the Inchcape bell, the evil below was ringing his knell. So here, now Sir Ralph the rover, he thought that now I will die. That is, he knew that his time has come to die, because he had done many bad deeds in his life. So after, now when he is sinking in the water, one sound that Sir Ralph the rover could hear is of the Inchcape bell. And then Sir Ralph the rover thinks that there is a devil inside the water who is ringing this bell for him. So this is with the poem The Inchcape Rock. Hope you all liked it. Stay tuned for the next video on English. Do subscribe my channel 12th is Thick. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you. Bye-bye.